So you're thinking about making a move to Oceanside, California, but you're still trying to figure out what neighborhood is best for you. Well, you're gonna wanna stay tuned because in this video, I'm gonna do one of the most extensive overviews you've seen of the top 5 neighborhoods here in Oceanside. And we're gonna do a lot of things, but I'm gonna start off by jumping on the maps and showing you guys where these neighborhoods are, what the price points are for a condo or single family home, some of the walkability, pros and cons, things like that to better educate you guys. And then after that, I wanna get you guys very up close and personal from your computer. And I took some really good video footage of some of these neighborhoods of me driving around so I can give you guys a better idea of the houses in these neighborhoods and some of the facades. So let's go ahead and let's get after it now. Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you're not too familiar with me, my name is Nicholas. I'm a real estate advisor here in San Diego, and I do a ton of videos to better educate you guys on some of these neighborhoods and cities here in San Diego. And I absolutely love helping you guys. So if you're thinking about making a move here in a week, a month, a year, whatever it is, feel free to shoot me a text or an email or just give me a call. And I'd love to break down any of the questions you have and just give you a better idea of what it's like to live in some of these neighborhoods. But let's talk a little bit more about Oceanside because, you know, Oceanside has its areas that are really nice and it has its very so-so neighborhoods. So it's important that you know what to expect in some of these areas because you don't want to move in and then a year later go, this isn't the best neighborhood for me. So we want to skip all that and we want to make sure we get you into the best neighborhood. So if that's your case, reach out first off because I'd love to help break it down and make it a lot easier and figure out, you know, what your lifestyle is looking for. But either way, let's start off with neighborhood number 1 and let's go ahead and jump into my map. All right, so here we go. I have the map pulled up to give you guys a better idea of where Oceanside is. If you haven't seen any of my other videos, I do just about everything on Oceanside and a lot of towns in North County, so make sure you check some of those out. But if you haven't seen any of my other Oceanside videos, here's Oceanside right here. It's in North County, San Diego. And let's say you have to commute to downtown and you have to go to the international airport. You're actually gonna hop on the 5 right here and it's gonna take you the entire way, which is great. You have some great freeway access in Oceanside. And right here in downtown San Diego, that's where the international airport is. Take you about 45 minutes on average. And there's no tolls or anything when you hop on any of these freeways in North County. So that's a huge plus. But that's just to give you that for scale. And let's dive into our first suburb. Now, keep in mind, none of these neighborhoods are in any particular order. These are just some of the more sought after, nice neighborhoods in Oceanside because some of these neighborhoods are gonna be so-so and some of them are gonna be awesome. Pretty much everyone that I'm covering today are they're more on the high-end side, some good walkability, family-oriented, all that fun stuff. I know what you guys like, so I wanna share those with you. But let's talk about the first one, which is going to be Fire Mountain. Now, you can see Fire Mountain's already outlined. It's going to be right here. It's going to be just east of the 5 and just north of the 78 right here. So there you go. It's not a huge suburb. It's one of the best in my opinion because you're going to have, it's got a real rural feeling. It's got a lot of curvy roads, as you can see. It's hilly, and you're very elevated right here, meaning most of these homes do have some ocean views. So that's a huge plus. But let's talk a little bit about the location. So like I said, you're just off the 5 right here, so you can shoot up to LA, Orange County, or you can shoot down south to any other cities. And then you got the 78 too, which will take you from east to west. So access is very good. And then your biggest shopping center in Oceanside is actually, you're gonna have one right here, and you're gonna have the other one right here. So this is where, depending on where you live, if you live in any of this zone, even just a little bit more south, you're gonna be doing your shopping there because let me dive into the shopping center. It has everything, literally everything you could need. You have a Walmart, you have a Best Buy, you have a World Market, Dick's Sporting Good, Stater Bros. So that's just one section. There's even more little shops in here and stuff like that. They're not showing up. But right over here is where you're going to have pretty much everything. So this is where I do all my shopping, is right in this little quadrant. You have Trader Joe's right here. You have a Target right here. And you have a Winco right here. So this is kind of all you need in my opinion. You have a Bevmo, Broken Yoke if you want to go get breakfast, LA Fitness if you got to get your workout on, Boot Barn, Krispy Kreme. There's a ton of stuff, and most of it's not even showing up on here. Buffalo Wild Wings. You have an Anita's, which is great. Terry Cafe, really good hidden gem of Oceanside. Go make sure you check that place out. So that's going to be some of your shopping right there, and it's literally it's pretty much in Fire Mountain, which is great. In these homes, you're not going to find much of condos. There's a tiny section where you'll find some condos, but you're not really going to find that. It's mostly going to be single family homes. Most of them were built in the 60s, 70s, 80s, custom homes, bigger lots, which is great. Some of the biggest lots are going to be in Fire Mountain. You have bigger homes, and it's very, very family oriented up here, and it's got that rural feeling, like I said, which is great because you're right outside of the beach right here. Take you about 5 minutes to get to the beach. You have all your shopping right here. You kind of have everything you need just right here. So Fire Mountain's great. Price point's going to be about $1 million and higher. Like I said, you're going to have some new built custom homes that were, you know, some houses were torn down and they built newer modern homes. And then you're going to have your older classic bungalows. So it's great. And what's cool about it, when I said it's family oriented, you have 2 schools just in Fire Mountain. So you have Palmquist, which is going to be an elementary school, and just right on the other street, or the other side of California Street right here, is going to be a middle school. So kids can even ride their bikes, walk to school. It's kind of great for parents, in my opinion. And then to go back on shopping too, remember, this is all, you're sitting on a hill. So this is just a giant hill. So you got some good walking and stuff. There's not any sidewalks or anything like that in Fire Mountain. So if you're planning on, you could walk to these shopping plazas and stuff. It's probably not going to make much sense if you're hauling stuff. But that's just to give you an idea. A lot of windy roads. And then you're also going to have, where I do a lot of my other shopping, or a lot of people do their shopping, is going to be Fraser Farms right here. So you got another plaza right here, Soapy Joe's, and it's right on the other side of Fire Mountain, which is awesome. And Fraser Farms is going to be more of a like holistic shopping, like a Sprouts or a Whole Foods, Jimbo's, any of that. So that's to give you an idea of Fire Mountain. But let's talk a little bit more. Or actually, we're not going to talk about anything else. We're actually going to hop in the car and let me show you guys around. Number 2 on the list is going to be Loma Alta. As you can see, it's outlined right here as well. It's got kind of a funky shape to it. It's going to be just in between the 76, which is, this is a freeway right here, and that'll actually take you all the way into Fallbrook or to the 15 where you can head up to Riverside or you can head south. But as you can see, it's literally neighbors with Fire Mountain right here. And funny thing is, I call Loma Alta, it's a joke, but I call it the poor man's Fire Mountain because it's literally a replica, in my opinion, of Fire Mountain. It's got, the lots are a little bit smaller, the houses are a little bit smaller. Same time frame they were built, but it's just a little less expensive. So Fire Mountain's going to be around $1 million and higher, while Loma Alta is going to be, it's starting to get to that $1 million price point, but you can find stuff for $700 and up for the most part for a single family, and you'll have some condos and stuff like that over there. But it's a really great place, and you're really close to all those shopping centers. I won't have to dive into it again, but you're really close to those same shopping centers. So you have the Fraser Farms, which is going to be right in there. You have Smart and Final and some other stuff. You have a Crunch Gym over there, and then just you can head down El Camino Real right here, and it's going to take you right back to all those other shopping plazas. So Location's great, and this is actually, it's partially on a hill as well. I mean, you can see Goat Hill Park right here. This is going to be a golf course, very fun, very difficult golf course. It's literally like this. It's called Goat Hill for a reason. Very easy to lose balls there, but this, I'm going to say this is, you're going to start to head up onto a hill, and the main hill is going to be in this zone. So picture this, right around Buddy Todd Park is going to be a giant, massive hill, and it's actually gorgeous because right here, some of these homes will have views, not much ocean views, but Buddy Hill right here is a fairly large park, and it's got some gorgeous views looking to the northwest. So you should check that place out. Picnic, you can hang out, you got some good views, you can do a run around there. It's great. What else do we have? I talked about Goat Hill. And this is kind of just going to be it. It's the same kind of vibe as Fire Mountain. It's hilly, it's curvy, it has all that stuff, and you're just next to the 76, like I said. So let's go ahead and jump into the car so I can show you around. So that's going to take us into our third neighborhood, which is going to be Rancho Del Oro. Now, you can see it's already circled out right here. It's got a funky little head shape to it. But just to show you guys, so Loma Alta is going to be right next to it, just to the west. Fire Mountain is going to be just west of it as well. So we already know some of the shopping and the plazas close by to there. But let's talk a little bit just about Rancho Del Oro, and to give you guys an idea, let's say you live in the furthest part of Rancho Del Oro in this corner right here. If you wanted to head and have a beach day real quick, you could just shoot down Oceanside Boulevard right here, or you could even take the 76 depending on where you live. You'll have less stoplights on the 76, but this will take you right into the harbor. Oceanside Boulevard will take you right into coastal Oceanside. Take you about 10 minutes. Depends on traffic, but give or take 10 minutes, so that's great. And what I really like about Rancho Del Oro is it's going to have newer homes than the neighborhoods that I just spoke about, but this is going to have a lot more of a development feel, meaning you're going to be a lot closer to your neighbors. It's going to be smaller lot sizes, but the prices are a little bit more affordable. You could find a single family home for about $750,000 or higher. And you're also going to have townhomes and condos. So you're going to have some options over here. It's not that it's a huge area, but let's dive into this because, so right here, whoops, sorry, let me zoom out. So right here, you're actually going to have, pretty soon you're going to have a sports arena over there, which is going to be the front wave. So you're going to have a sports venue and a music venue, which is great. It's going to be considered Rancho Del Oro. And funny thing right here, we'll talk about Belching Brewery in Oceanside. It's actually out of Vista, but you have a brewery right here in Oceanside, which is great. But I remember traveling in Europe a long time ago and being in Germany in this town that, very tiny town, and I remember I was going to grab a beer, and I see a Belching Beaver. They had a bunch of beers there, and I'm like, what? Belching Beaver made it all the way to Germany? Like, that's crazy. So it's just funny to see that, you know, Oceanside Vista's on the map. It's in other countries with their beer scene, so that's some good news. But let's dive into this. So this is going to be one of your shopping centers right here. This is going to be one of the smaller ones. There's actually a bigger one up north that we'll go to in a second. But this one's going to have a gym. You have a Planet Fitness. You have an Aldi over here. You have an Albertsons. And let me dive into this because there's a really good, and you're going to have your fast food joints. Whoop, where am I going? Here we go. So now we're back. Let this populate. So you have a Jersey Mike's, Taco Bell. So you're going to have that type of fast food. Chin's, which is a more authentic Chinese food, and then right here you're gonna have Enzo's. So right here, really good barbecue joint. They got beers on tap and really good happy hour. So keep that in mind because maybe you'll be living in Rancho Del Oro one day. So let's zoom out. You know some of the other shopping centers that are just south, right over here in Fire Mountain and Loma Alta, but here's going to be your biggest one. It might, depending on where you live in Rancho Del Oro, this might be your call because you're going to have an In-N-Out over here. You have a Lowe's, or actually, sorry, Lowe's is going to be over here. You have a Home Depot over here. Then you zoom in. We have a Target. We have a Sprouts. There's a Walmart down here. So you can get pretty much all your shopping done within a 5-minute drive for the most part, which is great. You can hit the beach in 10 minutes. Guajome's just right outside of Rancho Del Oro, so you got a lot of walking trails and more of like a nature preserve over there. And then I do want to share with you, you have a high school, El Camino High School. This is actually a really good high school over here in Oceanside, so you're going to have that. So the proximity, some of this stuff is great in Rancho Del Oro. Like I said, the price point is still good. You're going to have condos, townhomes, and single-family homes. Big ones, actually. You can get like a 25 to 3,000 square foot home. So if you have a bigger family, this could be a great place to call home. And it is a very family-oriented neighborhoods throughout Rancho Del Oro. So let's take a drive around. So that takes us into neighborhood number 4, which is going to be South Oceanside, also known as South O. So you can see the outline right here. It's got this little guy, and it's actually going to border Carlsbad just to the south right here. And as you can see, Fire Mountain is going to be just on the east side of the freeway right there. You got Loma Alta, Rancho Del Oro is going to be over here. So all really close, within a 10-minute drive. But you know, if you're living up here, Fire Mountain, and you're driving down, you're going to be going through South Oceanside and going to the beach and stuff like that. But just to show you guys a little bit more on South Oceanside. And the funny thing about South Oceanside is people rep it. And if you live here or you're going to be moving here, whatever it is, it's funny. You could be in a totally different city. You could be in downtown San Diego. You could be in Imperial Beach. And you'll see literally South O bumper stickers, license plate frames. You'll see all that. So people are diehard on South Oceanside, which is really cool. But let's kind of dive into South O right here just to give you an idea, because this is going to be some of your best walkability. This and the next community or the neighborhood are going to have your best walkability by far. And you're going to have some residential, a lot of residential in this zone, this whole zone right here. This is all going to be residential. You got some on the west side of the 101 as well. And you're just going to have all around walkability, because here's, we zoom in, you got a Hunter Steakhouse, that's been here forever. Some coffee shops throughout right here. You have a kind of a re-gentrified dive bar right here. You have Poorhouse, Beach Break. This place is always busy. You have the Plot, which is like a vegan twist on food. And you have Best Pizza and Beer for a pizza and a slice. Privateer, some of my favorite pizza in Oceanside. And you also have right here, you have Anita's, which is going to be right next to Privateer. It's not pulling up, but right here is going to be Anita's, which is really good Mexican food. Get a margarita. I could go on and on about the food over here, but the walkability, what I'm trying to say is the walkability is great. You even have a small Cream of the Crop, which is going to be a smaller grocery store. So the walkability is great over here, and you're going to have a lot of older homes, And it's going to be that vibe where you have, you know, your distressed house next door right near a brand new custom built home. So that happens over here, but it's a great place, and it's changing just so rapidly over the past couple years. And the great part about South Oceanside is, well, it's right on the beach, but you're right along the 5 right here, so you can jump on this. You have great access to the freeway, and then even better, which half of the time when there's traffic and stuff, I just go ahead and take the coast the whole entire way to my destination wherever I'm going south. I just take the 101 all the way down, which is a little bit more, it's better on the eyes, right, than sitting in traffic. But you're going to be right on that border of Carlsbad right here. Once you pass this lagoon, you're officially in Carlsbad, and Carlsbad Village is right here, and it has a ton of walkability, food, and all that. So if you have a bike or an e-bike and you live in South Oceanside, you can just consider yourself a Carlsbad local in a way too, because you can shoot down here on your bike in just 5 minutes. So this is a great place. Obviously, you're gonna have a lot of multifamily, a lot of single family throughout right here. You do have a middle school, or not a middle school, sorry, you have an elementary school, and you have some parks. You have a park over here. You have Buccaneer Park, which is right across from the beach. And this is going to be, a lot of people take their dogs here and run around, you know, once school's out around like 4 or 5. So this is a great, I mean, Primo's Market, little Mexican market. I mean, I could go on and on about South Oceanside. I'll try to keep it short, but let's go ahead and hop in the car so I can show you around. And last but not least, we are now at neighborhood number 5, which is going to be Coastal Oceanside. Now, this is kind of tough because this part of Oceanside doesn't have an actual neighborhood name. You could kind of call it downtown Oceanside if you wanted to, but for the sake of this video, we're just going to call it Coastal Oceanside. And, you know, I still have South O outlined, which is going to be right here. So anything south of this is going to be South O, which we just talked about. But anything north of this is going to be considered Coastal Oceanside. Now, let me kind of zoom out real quick to give you guys an idea. So here we go. Let me draw a little outline for you guys. So this can all be considered Coastal Oceanside. Boom, go up to 5. We'll stop here. So right here, Coastal Oceanside, we're going to call this. And it's going to be very similar to South O, but there is going to be a few things that are a little bit different. There is going to be more multifamily homes up in this zone. And the reason for that is because Camp Pendleton is, you know, it's one of the biggest military bases in the U.S., and it happens to be in Oceanside, on the north part of Oceanside. So a lot of these houses back in the day were built as military housing. So you're going to see a lot of multifamily in these zones. But with that being said, there is a ton of beautiful single family homes. I mean, there's some gorgeous streets like this one right here. South Nevada Street is absolutely gorgeous. You have giant pine trees that just line the street, and it's quite a sight. And especially, I couldn't imagine living on this street. It would be gorgeous to, you know, see that every day. But yeah, like I said, this is going to be Coastal Oceanside. It's going to be very similar to South O with the same price point. I mean, a single family home is going to run you upwards of $1 million, all the way up to $6 million if you're going to be buying something on the beach. So the price points are going to be all over. You're going to have new construction homes. You're going to have older beach bungalows that were completely redone and renovated. So you're going to have that. Oceanside High School is going to be right here. So if you live close to there, you're going to have some noise and things like that. Now, if you've seen some of my other videos like the pros and cons and what it's actually like to live in Oceanside, there is some good stuff, there is some bad stuff. The bad stuff is going to be on the coastal areas because there is more homeless over here and a little bit more crime because there's homeless. So it's something you need to know about. And you know, if you are actually considering a move over here, give me a call because I'll give you a better idea, because some streets are better than others over here. But yeah, reach out, start that conversation, and let's kind of dive into this because you're going to have probably a bit more walkability over here. I showed you the main zone, like where that regentrified dive bar was, poorhouse, all those coffee shops. That's going to be most of your walkability, and you have the grocery store over there. But right over here, you have the same thing. You have, you know, walkability all along the 101 right here. You have Matsu, which is a really good Japanese restaurant. You have the Cup, which is a good coffee shop if you want to go grab a coffee in the morning, or maybe a breakfast sandwich. And then you're right on the beach right here. Right here too is the Strand. This is the notorious Strand. You'll see people driving down it. It's a one-lane road and it only heads south. So you'll see people cruising, you know, either on their motorcycle or their old classic car, just driving super slow. And you're right on the water right there, which is really cool. And then of course you'll have the pier, which is right here. Great people watching down here if you're into that. It's a good time. But yeah, like I said, the walkability is going to be your highlight. This is your whole downtown section right here. And let me actually zoom into that because I don't know what's going to populate right here, but let's see. You're going to have everything from bars, restaurants, rooftop bars. You have a movie theater, which is going to be right here. So yeah, here's everything that populated. And most of these restaurants are really, really good. So you have Blade 1936, very authentic Italian food, Craft Coast and beers. You have Miss Kim's, which is really good barbecue. Swami's Cafe, which is like a brunch spot. They just put in a Handles right here on the corner. But guys, Oceanside is crazy. It's growing so much and it's happening so fast for the most part. It's really cool to see. But this is where everything is. So if you're going to be living in this coastal area, like I said, it's going to be a lot more touristy, especially in the summer months. Like right now, it's mid-August. It's about to die down. September, October are the best months here in San Diego, especially on the coast, because most kids go back to school, parents go back to work, so the weather gets perfect. So it's a lot better. So if you're living here, maybe August, July is going to be when it's really busy down here, a lot of noise, a lot of commotion, but it's great. Even if you live just right out here, you're not going to get much of that, and you can walk or bike over here pretty quick for the most part, and you're close to the 5. You have a Walmart right here, and the harbor is actually going to be located up here, which is fun. And you got the beach everywhere right here too. And the tide doesn't get too high to the point where there is no beach. You're going to have plenty of beach all along right here on the pier to go hang out. And let me think, I don't think I'm missing anything that I wanted to cover on coastal Oceanside. I think that was pretty much it. So yeah, just the tourism, it's going to be a little bit touristy on the coastal areas of downtown Oceanside. So if you're kind of over that noise and commotion, South O might be a little bit better for you. It's going to be, you're not going to have as much as that tourist vibe. But like I said, it's only like that for a couple months. But Oceanside overall is a great place to call home. And let's jump in the car so I can show you around coastal Oceanside. And there you have it, guys. Those are the top 5 neighborhoods here in Oceanside, California. But you really need to keep in mind there is more neighborhoods than just the 5 that I mentioned. These are just more of the highly sought after and desirable areas. And overall, Oceanside as a whole has some really good neighborhoods, but it's really gonna come down to what your lifestyle is looking for, along with your budget and any commute, if you have one, schools, all that stuff comes into play. So if you're thinking about making a move here, feel free to reach out anytime, shoot me a text or an email, because I would love to save you guys a lot of time and just give you some of that really good local knowledge. Either way, I hope that video brought a ton of information, and I'll see you guys in the next one.